No,
Been there, done that one.
definitely. You're not gonna-
Anytime you try artificial stuff,
gone.
for me, it's just not gonna work.
Some of it's gotten better, but it's not the same.
Yeah, never has been, never will. At least they tried.
Looks like there's paperwork back there.
Present it as something new and different,
Grab 2 sets.
but not, don't try and
You
fool me.
need 2.
Exactly. Don't tell me it's this or that one, even though it's not.
Yeah.
You know what? That dude is there like every time we come, except for Sunday. And I guess he was open to every church that comes here to say, come on, join us. The homeless dude right there. Yeah, sewing on that table right there. And he's in the dark, and he's dark anyway, you can't see him unless he talks to you. Oh, the homeless dude that's always right there, but every day, every time we come here, he is here, or me, come, and then he's always there, except for Sunday.
He was only there in the mornings for a couple hours.
Really, there
Now he
forever
seems to
when we're
be-
here,
Yeah,
forever.
so I think I need to call code enforcement.
Yeah, I was thinking, well, the policeman comes in.
Oh, these are
There was a cop out there earlier.
Today? Oh, okay.
He was still there when we got here.
Well, they sit and do their reports.
I like that.
There used to be a police substation over on, Holt and Central,
Thanks.
but I think they closed it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And Montclair's not that big, but the police station is up on Foothill. And
They had
on
one of those
Bismarck.
down in Chino, Spectrum also.
Thank you.
But now they
I don't
just-
know what order these
They
are.
come and they sit here for a
Let's
while.
make sure we've actually.
Yeah, I wish they'd stay longer.
I like their presence, tell you.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah.
One of 2.
You don't like it, then don't do anything bad, then you won't have a problem.
I came one day,
Pastures.
you gotta bring it in here, and there was
Grab
like
it in to get
3 cars over here, unmarked cars.
And I
There's like 6
Oh, now here's the
guys in
agenda.
plain
Okay.
clothes.
There's not enough. I
And-
can live with that one.
I went, hi gentlemen, can I help you?
Treasurer.
Oh yeah, we're undercover, we're raiding a house over here in a few minutes, and we're packing up.
In other words, you can't help them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Step
There was a-
away
there
from
was
the
a kind of
car.
convenient spot close by, out of the way, that they could prep
Yeah, why not?
and go raid a house. I
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
More power to them.
I'll say a prayer for
Are
you.
you streaming?
Yes, I am.
yeah, dang.
We are live.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm starting this with the agenda. Oh, I think we've got 3 treasurers. Art, I also sent her and you something, and it didn't go. I'm sending it again.
What?
I sent Terry and Art a request.
Oh, who's that? Okay.
I've got one posted here, Jeff, but the other has duplicates. I'm gonna take it back and see if I can rewash it. Okay, thank you.
She's not.
The amount of congregation has gone down. We no longer get the extra grant from Costa
If you look at that Cameron wave and say hi, Terry.
individuals or whoever it is. So they less to a less number of people, greater withdrawals due to multiple
Kind of the one behind you.
Okay, so you have 2.
half of the day.
We got your better side.
Didn't work out
Janet, did you notice the bathroom?
as far as financial.
a time is coming when no one will no longer listen to sound and wholesome teaching. They will follow their own desires and will look for teachers who will tell them whatever their itching ears want to hear. They will reject the truth and chase after myths. Paul wrote this to Timothy, and I think it's very appropriate for today. And as we look a little bit at our future later on, I think this is a foundational piece for us to make sure we are doing word and sacrament as our Constitution calls us to do, as our Synod calls us to do, and as the Lord calls us to do, because there are people out there that are employing, not in the sense of paying money, but employing people to tell them what they want to hear and not the truth. And I thought of that when the further a society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those that speak the truth. And this is just becoming more evident. And a lot of it's a reminder for me to make sure we are teaching the truth. And it's just so important. Because I want you guys in heaven. And I may say some things that you don't like, but I'm trying to teach the truth. I'm trying to remind us that things are not going to be popular in the world. But we need to hold to the hope, love, and forgiveness that Jesus gives us. So let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for your word. And I am so grateful for the opportunity to be the spiritual leader of this small ragtag remnant group of believers here in Montclair. And there's still things for us to do, Lord, and we know that. And so we ask for wisdom and guidance and discernment as we do the business of the church. Today we'll put a budget in place for next year. We have some other pieces of business to do, and we just want to make sure you're at the heart of everything we do. Christ-centered, biblically based, and mission-minded. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right, a roll call.
Okay, Gene Bohat,
Here.
Gene Brooks excused, Brian Carls,
Here.
the Hooks are off, Janet Irie,
Here.
Kathy Platt,
Here.
Eileen Clonzer,
Here.
Jeanette excused,
Yes.
Larry Patterson,
Here.
Arthur Colby,
Yo.
I'm here, Terry Stiller,
Online.
okay, then Linda Zander,
Here.
Jeffrey Zero,
Here.
Pastor Eileen,
Here.
and other attendees, Mark and Mark.
Okay. Have you all had a chance to look over the minutes from last meeting?
No. Did you get them, Brian?
Yeah, I've already looked through them.
up the agenda from your knee.
Agenda, yes. Board meeting, report from board officers and committees, starting with the Board of Elders.
No report? Nothing to report.
Okay. Board of Trustees,
No report.
no report. School nice and quick. Board of Education, Public Catholic.
The idea, but I talked to Pastor about it for Christmas.
Okay.
What's that?
Kathy's working on
Christmas program,
Christmas.
I gotta talk to Pastor about it.
Oh, okay.
Board of Stewardship and Missions.
That is vacant, so no report.
Okay. Financial Secretary.
That is vacant, but Terry and I have been keeping the records current. I've been making the local deposits every week, so that's been current. Keeping Excel spreadsheets so that at the end of the year, we can, Terry and I can get the reports all done. I know one thing we haven't been doing is keeping Jeffrey updated on when money comes in, where it actually is supposed to go, so that he can track it. Like when we get to the budget, one thing was he had some line item budget things, but they were almost always being reimbursed, like family fun night. He had added like $400 and I said, well, that's always reimbursed, but since we don't have a financial secretary, that was something that he hadn't been able to keep up with. So, but the important pieces of deposits and records are being kept up with. So.
Move on to report from the treasurer.
All right, you should have a 2-page printed report. Both are headed Treasurer's Report. If you see budget numbers, turn it over. The Treasurer's Report is on one side and the budget is on the other. We want the Treasurer's Report side on both pages. The first page just has account balances. They are the bank and the LCF accounts are as of the end of last month. The loan balances are as of, well, they're also as of last month, but before last month's payments were made. What I really want to point out is on the second page, which has the monthly deposits and withdrawals from the checking account. And we are, especially the last number on that, the last pair of numbers on that page, which are the monthly averages. We have a little over 8,000 coming in every month and some 10,000 going out every month for a deficit of a little over $2,000 a month. Last year we were plus about $760 a month. So we've had quite a reversal this year. That $2,000 or $2,100 deficit per month will be part of the discussion when we come to the budget. Meanwhile, any questions about the treasurer's report, not about the budget numbers?
Any comments on the treasurer's report? Okay. We'll move on then to the budget.
LWB bill number G, letter G. Jean, back to your agenda.
I can't, oh, here it is.
business that will be part of the tenant relations, hopefully. But just plugging along with Revive and CDC right now.
All right, any questions about the tenant relationship committee? And, how about the negotiating committee?
There's no report right now. Again, that was Linda, Bunny, and myself, and until we get to a point, I'm hoping in the spring we'll be able to sit down, we'll have a better idea, but a lot of that's gonna depend on what we choose to do as a congregation in January. So no report.
Okay. I guess that would bring us to election of officers.
And you have that form in your packet there to go down each position, or Jean has it, not everybody has it. You have to go through each position and, you have that one, too, election of officers. Do you want one, Pastor?
Yeah.
Do you need one?
No, he's got it.
Oh, okay. All right. Just make it easier for me.
Okay, nominations for president for 2026. Committee recommends nominating G. Howard. And do we have to nominate me?
No, those nominations have been made.
Oh, okay.
From the council. So you're in.
So do we have to vote on it?
Yes.
Okay. I guess all those in favor of the president being Gene Bullhut?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Vice president. Art McCauley is nominated. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Recording secretary, Leanne Severin has been nominated. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? By the way, if you have any opposition, you have to take that position.
Good one. I like that.
We have an opening though for financial secretary. The nominating committee recommends nominating
Well, it's
a
open.
volunteer.
It's open.
So,
Nominations from the floor are acceptable.
anybody want to nominate someone for financial secretary? It means sticking with the job, it means nominating them.
What does it look like if that position goes unfilled?
Well, we've been
continue the
doing,
way it has been this year.
With Pastor basically doing the day-to-day.
I'm just making deposits, and Terry's helping me keep records.
Does our Constitution allow for Pastor to have that level of detail into who's giving what?
It's not ideal, but
I don't think there's a prohibition on
It's
it.
recommended, but
Yeah.
not required.
With a small group like we have, it's not a big deal.
and I just go by envelope numbers.
Other churches I've been affiliated with, that's been a big no-no.
In other churches, that was how they ran business. The pastor knew everything, which I don't think is good.
That's no nomination?
No.
Okay,
It'll stay open.
then we move on to nomination for treasurer. Nominating committee recommends nominating Jeffrey Zill for treasurer. Do we have a vote then?
He's not here to say no, quick, let's
Those
vote.
all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All in favor of Jeffrey Zill for treasurer?
Aye.
Aye.
I believe he was willing, but he would
We'll ask.
Yeah,
rather not.
let's double check.
Will be nice.
He said he would.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next.
Then
Treasurer?
you are the treasurer now.
You just got voted.
All right, Board of Elders. Nomination, the Board of Elders recommends nominating Barry Patterson.
Yes.
All right, we'll nominate Barry Patterson for Board of Elders. We have to vote on that then?
Yes.
There can be more than one elder if there are additional nominations. On all the boards, by the way.
Anybody want to propose a second elder? All right, we'll go with one then. All those in favor of Barry Patterson for the Board of Elders?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. When did you get appointed for something that you opposed?
He did.
We have an opening for the Board of Trustees. Does anybody want to propose a Board of Trustees? Anybody want to be a Board of Trustees?
Yeah.
What's that doing here?
All the maintenance.
Yeah, they fix everything.
The Board of Trustees.
He's technically not a.
The Board of Trustees is basically in charge of the upkeep of the property, arranging for it to be taken care of.
Can't be a guy, or girl, I mean, or is that the guy?
You can have both men and women on the board, but there must be at least one man, because it specifies that the head trustee must be
Too bad you're not a good one,
a
Mark.
man.
So we could nominate Kathy and Marv.
No, you could, nobody can fill more than one spot. So
Yeah.
Kathy would have to give a
That's-
Board of Education.
That's,
So that would leave only a nomination for Marv to be.
Well, Mark's not a voter, so he
he's
can't.
technically not a voter.
How do we change that?
I'm a shadow.
Yeah, I
we-
do.
Well, the Constitution had to be changed, and that, we'll talk about that later.
All right, should we move on then?
We move on.
Board of Education.
Kathy,
Kathy is nominated.
Okay.
all in favor?
Kevin Hardman. Board of Stewardship and Missions.
That's vacant.
Open position. Unless anybody wants to volunteer for that?
Excuse me.
And that's all about keeping the membership happy, as well as outreach to other groups.
At this time, we just,
Leave it open?
yeah.
Okay. So much for the elections. You get so few people, it's not hard to keep up.
Unfinished business, Jim.
Then we move on to unfinished business, which is unfinished.
I have none.
No,
We don't have anything listed.
I don't have any.
All right, we have no unfinished business, and we want a new business. Beginning with the 2026 budget with council recommendation.
I have a item that is new business that I'd like to do before the budget. Some of you may have seen a couple here last Sunday. That's Pastor Darius and his wife Yilma. And they have a little Hispanic church in their garage right around the corner. They would like to lease this sanctuary in Sunday afternoon from 4 to 8. And Tuesday evening from 7 to 9. And then some of the other facilities. I've met with him a couple times. Really, really wonderful man of God. Right now, there are about 30 people in their garage, and he he says a lot of people are coming, but they're not coming back because it's in a garage. And so he's been praying and walking around and fell in love with us, partly because we're right around the corner. But the couple times I've talked to him, he says, this is where we want to be. So I hit him with 3,000 a month, and they said, whoa, no, we can't do that. We're only just starting out. So we kind of looked at 2,000, and he came back, can we do 1,500 a month? And I said, I don't know. I'll have to go to the voters. So I'd kind of like to go back and say, 16 or 1,700.
Say 1,750.
Are they willing to put any sweat equity?
Yes,
into the
they
equation?
have a cleaning lady, they have some other people that can do some other things.
How about a roofer and a shingle?
The what?
Someone to
Oh.
help finish our,
Well, and I've shared a little bit about what the vision is. I would like to, respond, counter their 1,500 with, 1,700. And then I said, we'll do a 6-month lease, and we'll see where you're at. If you're growing, then we'll, maybe sneak it up a little bit. Or maybe you guys can participate in some of the maintenance and things like that. So if we can do that, I also want to go to, which I should have mentioned at the tenant relations, I want to raise Revive's rent at least $100 a month. And with CDC, they're going to be doing some, paying for like $5,000 in upgrades next door.
Our CDC and Revive doing for attendance.
I don't know. Revive, CDC, they're struggling with people coming. A lot of people since COVID just worship online with them. So I'd like to recommend that we invite, they're called the Garden Temple. They are a creedal church. They are a sacramental church that believe in Jesus. I'd like to invite them to come into a lease agreement for $1,700 a month for a 6-month lease, and then we'll revisit it. They would be, since Revive and CDC are already over there, we kind of need to put them in here, so. But that would increase our rental income to over $72,000 a year, which I think we need to do, so.
okay, and that would be 4 to 8 on Sunday,
Sunday evening,
and then Tuesday evening, 7 to 9.
yeah.
I've got two questions, if I may.
Yeah?
Okay, you were talking about, who has, the number of members or whatever that show up on Sunday. CDC, based on the parking lot, number of cars, is far less than the Hispanic one, probably about a third less.
Right.
Okay, so obviously they're smaller. And then the other thing is there any way to break down, based on what you're saying about the 1,700, to base down utilities, based on the number of hours that they're preparing to use for the facility, to where you can get a better idea on what it's gonna cost extra running from 4 to 8 at night?
Well, part of the yes, we can break down their usage into hours, but part of the problem with the utilities is it's a varying scale.
The utilities cost is not, unlike your home electricity, that is basically just a straight calculation based on your usage. Here, the electric bill runs in 4 segments. One is usage, but believe it or not, that is sometimes the smallest part. here, that's over $200 a month. There are also two charges based on what they call demand, which is the amount of electricity used at any one time. There is a charge based on the maximum that is used during each month, even if it's only for 1 hour. And then there is also different,
Tier,
for 4 to 9, there's also a charge based on the maximum demand during the 4 to 9 evening hours. And those two are generally the two largest, those two demand charges are generally the largest charges on the bill. Exactly how much change in the electric bill that's going to be made would just be a guess.
so you got electric, you got water,
Because we already have, even though it would increase the amount of usage during the most expensive time period, we also already have usage during that time period, and I don't know if they will just increase the usage charge, or if there will be an increase in the demand charge as well.
Revive is 2 to 5, and they
Well,
would be.
we already have an overlap with CDC on Sunday morning, and
Right.
that is usually when the largest
Correct.
amount of usage is.
There would be very little overlap with Revive and Garden Temple in here, so.
So as far as the maximum usage charge one goes, there should be no change. There could be a change in the charges for the extra charges for the 4 to 9 p.m. period. And definitely, of course, there'll be extra usage during that time period.
what is our basic electric bill per month?
It's on,
It runs a little under $800 a month, except in the summer during the summer, because it's a lot, because first of all, there's air conditioning usage, and second of all, because there's extra air conditioning usage, it runs close to $2,000 a month.
Okay, see, that's what I'm based on what my question is.
But,
If we pay $2,000
yeah,
a month
the-
now to that,
my,
and we're asking $1,700, and that's just electricity, if that's a
but that would be for all of us
that-
now.
the electric bill covers everybody for the entire month. There's only one electric bill.
Oh, okay, see, that's what I'm asking.
There's
But
only
it's-
one electric bill. Their addition would probably be less than $200 on the electricity, and water and sewer maybe $50 a month. I mean, it's not going to be a huge.
So if you had.
It's not going to be a huge increase.
1,700 is great.
It's not going to be a
Yeah.
huge increase in utilities.
That's all I was asking.
Yeah.
I seem to remember that Revive is currently paying less than
13.
$1,500 a month.
We're paying 13.
I would suggest going with this group's 1,500 and raising Revive to 1,500 and not trying to go any higher. That would be my suggestion on the finance part.
Do the numbers work out about the same?
That would be an increase of 1,700, which would
Yeah.
nearly fill our
A
gap.
gap.
Okay, but Revive is here 1 day a week?
2.
Two, okay.
They're here Friday night, and,
They're coming at 1 o'clock while we're leaving here from these meetings.
and they're here from 2 to 5.
Well, actually, they arrive around 1, so.
No.
I know, and that is something else I'm gonna gonna sit down with CDC and Revive. I have these cute little,
Because the new year's starting, so I guess.
I have these cute little diagrams of their space usage and their time usage. Because they're expanding past their,
Yeah. And they're not telling us.
and the other thing I'm gonna do is, if we agree to have these folks in, I'm gonna sit down with all 4 churches and reestablish boundaries and, with everybody. Because it's gonna be more important that we communicate and that we stay within our boundaries. But I also want to encourage participation with each other. And share the vision of ARC again with them, and hopefully get them excited about that as well, so.
Do any of the other churches celebrate Advent?
Oh, they do not.
That would be a possible touch point to invite them and encourage them
Exactly.
to participate
Now-
and attend our Advent services.
The thing is, they would also want Wednesday evening. But I said there are a couple Wednesday evenings that we would have to negotiate that we would have priority on.
Is it a service or a Bible study that they do on Wednesday evenings?
It's a prayer service. So
Why can't they use the other sanctuary on the Wednesdays?
they probably could. And I just said, there's Ash Wednesday and
Christmas is on.
Well,
I told them, certain holidays we're gonna have to coordinate in advance and depending on when they fall.
Understanding that we have priority.
Exactly. And funerals take priority and,
yeah, Ash Wednesday is the only permanent Wednesday service. Yes, Christmas moves throughout the days of the week.
right. And there will be challenges. Anytime you add a new person, a new party to a group, you
Change the dynamic.
change the dynamic.
And two, when Christmas or Christmas Eve falls on one of the days that they normally have something, they probably won't have their regular thing. They would have a Christmas event or nothing.
Right.
Would that go for Lent also, if we're doing Advent?
Easter.
That's something I think everybody could communicate together and maybe bring more of their congregation in with our congregation for a bigger church service, a bigger play, or whatever the case may be, so that everybody can be fulfilled with the love of Christ.
Is there service in English or
Spanish.
Hispanic?
You could do it dual.
So I've already talked to them about possibly doing bilingual services. Pastor's daughter is a recording artist. She has recorded some songs. And they will want to have a drum set and some instruments.
Live music?
They have live music, and I said, well, maybe you can come play for us once in a while. And she said, we'd love to, but they would want to leave the drum set up, and then we can put a curtain around it,
It's done in most churches.
and so that if nobody wants to look at it, we can have a curtain around it. But they would leave, but they would leave that, I already told them they have to get liability insurance, and I'm gonna get them some information on that. So they would have the same liability insurance that CDC and Revive have. They don't have it now because they're in a garage. So, but again, it is not a lot of money, but they're starting out, and I think they could be a good addition to this campus. More activity encourages more people asking, hey, what's going on there? You got things going all day Sunday. They would be here some Tuesdays and some Wednesdays. We got Revive on Friday.
We're here Thursdays.
There's a lot of activity going on, and people like activity. Oh, what's happening over
The
at
other
church?
advantage is it's close to where they're meeting now.
Oh, exactly. They love that. So,
That's why they're focusing on this location.
exactly.
So
He
that
said he's been walking
the
around
group
for a
can-
while.
That the group can find it easily.
Exactly. So, that's my recommendation. We would need a motion.
If we have combined services, as far as the offering goes, we will have to discuss
Oh, of course.
how much
There-
they
there's
get,
gonna be-
how much we get.
There's gonna be some logistics that we work out. Oftentimes, if you're doing a special joint service, you pick a third-party ministry that would benefit from the offering. The special service like that, like we do at district conventions
It
and,
just crossed my mind
yeah, no, that's a great,
how that would,
like we would vote and say, hey, the shoebox ministry is gonna benefit from the offering tonight.
Would our qualify? Sure.
Arc, so, but you preset that up, you print it in the bulletin so everybody knows that anything they give that day would go to this ministry. And then you don't have to worry about, we get 60, we get 40.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
or you just use different color envelopes.
So, there's gonna be some logistics we have to work out. And there'll be stuff that comes up throughout the year that, but again, I wanna take this opportunity to reel in Revive and CDC, say, hey, these are your lease spaces. These are the spaces available through your lease, but you gotta request them. You can't just use them at your whim.
They're not too comfortable.
To some degree, that'd be a good way to say it, yeah. But I also I think, we can certainly use the money. And even if, 25% of it goes to the extra utilities, we're still getting 75%.
More than what we.
Did you say we're increasing CDC's rent as well?
No, not at this
Then are
time.
we going to take back the classrooms that they've taken over
Well-
without permission?
Well, that's where I
Oh, yeah.
want to talk to them about. And they want to put new flooring in the hallway, and they're going to pay for it in lieu of us raising their rent. And I approve that.
Have you seen the flooring?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's from Empire. We used Empire to do the flooring before. And I verified the footage and everything.
Are we going to allow them to keep that third office that is not currently in their lease?
Well, that's what they want more,
They want Kathy's room,
yeah,
and we're not giving that up.
we're just gonna say no.
Well, when we give it up, it will be going to ARC for their use.
So I'm gonna tell them that, hey, you guys already have an extra office that's not in your lease.
And I think we need to redo their lease and add that extra office if that's what we're agreeing to, along
Right.
with the stipulation of
Right.
flooring.
Right now, I'd like to just let them do the floor, we'll move forward with them, raise Revive's rent, and get in this new tenant right now. We can readdress CDC in the spring.
When is their lease up?
They're month to month.
When was the last increase? About a year ago?
I think the new leases were done, about 2 years ago.
Somebody's moving. When ARC first put their nose in it.
Yes.
Where did they put the flooring?
In the hallway. They've been trying to keep the hallway carpet clean. And when they did the new doors over there,
To the sanctuary?
there's been a strip of bare floor ever since. So that'll take care of all of that.
Are they tile, wood?
It's
laminate?
a laminate wood.
Fake wood laminate,
We need to do an inspection.
Ergo or something.
It's, I looked at it.
Yes, I have
Manufactured.
one quick question if I may. Take your talent and based on square footage, what the usage of the two churches are, could you draw a diagram?
I already have everything drawn.
Oh, okay, and then charge it back
finish the shed, in addition to the flooring.
I don't wanna include that in that, that gets to be too much of a mess, but we can definitely go to them and say, hey, is there somebody here that can come help me do some sweat equity for finishing this and this?
Yeah, because we've got
Clean-
the money, but
Somebody
we
to
don't
clean
have the labor or
gutters.
the time to do it. Unless Mark, your house would like to volunteer
I
to
don't-
just come help us one day.
I don't want to, that gets really messy. And right now, I just like, I've already approved them to do the flooring, and I wanna raise Revive's rent, get this new tenant in, and get through the rest of the year in Advent. And then we can, we're probably gonna redo everything in the spring anyway. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. But right now, I'd just like to move forward as proposed. So I would say let's raise, I don't know if Revive can afford $200 a month, but let's put them to $1,500, and let's put the new church at $1,600. Because I've already told them the congregation will probably come back with an additional, that's part of what we do.
And keep processing all those rent checks through ARC,
Yes,
with ARC retaining 2% of
Correct.
the rent
correct.
and submitting the
The
rest.
new people's lease will be with all that in mind, yes.
Going on right.
Okay, so not 17, but 16.
Yeah, let's do 16 for the new group, Garden Temple.
With sweat equity.
And, yeah, I've already talked to them about that, and
All right.
they would be more than happy to do that. But I just think it's,
Motion to enter into a proposal for a 6-month lease with Garden Temple as proposed and discussed in this meeting. Second.
and insurance is required.
Insurance is required, yes.
Very, seconded. Oh, very good.
I'll second it.
Very good.
It's-
Okay, moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
I will call them today and get a lease set up that we can execute it. I'm hoping by the end of the month so that they can be in here for December.
I'd like to talk to you afterwards about it. Thank you. All right.
That was my new business, I guess, sorry, I didn't think that would be that big a deal, but that's good, good conversation.
That was one little item, report of pastor.
No, that was
got budget?
budget.
New business.
Okay. Then we move on to communication.
No, we have to approve the budget.
A and B, new business.
We're under the first item of the new business.
A.
All right. Budget with council recommendation. All those in favor?
Well, hold on. Leanne, what's the council recommendation?
To
Specifically.
accept as presented.
Okay. The budget is on the back of the
You wanna
treasurer's
read the bottom
report.
there?
There are 2 pages. One has numbers on it and one has explanations. And the goal in putting together this budget was to make it as small as possible. Unfortunately, because we have to make an allowance for increases in insurance and utilities and trustees' expenses, the total, if you look at the very bottom, the last 2 numbers on the total line are almost identical.
Almost, we're actually saving money. You're doing good.
However, to get there requires elimination of quite a few expenses, starting with, under the clergy section, no convention expenses, even though I know Pastor likes to at least go to the local pastors' convention to spread the word about ARC. And maybe ARC can pay for that. The insurance, utilities, trustees, and loans are all, they're all based on on this year's expenses with a allowance for increases. Recommend zeroing out the education budget because there's basically no spending there. Recommend under worship saving money by replacing flowers with artificial flowers and not getting any new liturgy but reusing old liturgy. Then under office, there's only one item there, and that is not purchasing the Synod Directory, which is a book that contains information about all the churches in the synods and where they're located. The big category is stewardship and missions. This includes the expenses for coffee, all the after service eats, the family nights, the portals of prayer, and contributions to seminary, district, and synod. And this year it's higher because of the Better Together meetings, which of course will not recur. They do recommend ending the contributions to district and synod and leaving only the seminary contribution. And relying on food donations for all food purchases. Continue buying coffee and cups and plates and utensils, but not buying any food.
We have to keep our donation to Synod in district. And it's not much. But they are, a greater majority of churches are cutting that out, and they are hurting, just like churches are.
Well, I'm not happy with district because they never acknowledge their receiving the contribution. The Synod acknowledges it, the seminary acknowledges it, district does not acknowledge it.
I will pass that along. I didn't realize that was an issue.
Okay, so where does that leave us then?
Well, putting back district and synod contributions would add $2,500 to the budget. Or approximately $200 a month.
Still leaves us in a plus of 500.
Oh, and there's also one addition to the budget being recommended, and that is adding a green waste container for the outside plant material trash.
That's just a one-time.
That is
A year.
that is a 500 that runs about $560 for the year, but if we pay Marv to take it to the dump every time he does, that's $200. So if he does does that 4 times a year, it's $800 or more than the cost of getting a green waste container that's emptied regularly, and we don't have to haul it anywhere.
Yeah, but how large is it?
It's a dumpster size.
Oh, it's a dumpster.
Actually, I think it's the size of those blue ones.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's not big enough.
Yeah, it's not big enough.
Well, the $500 a year, that's way too much for those.
Yeah, that's not, that's too small.
Well,
You can use,
My next door neighbor with a 20 by 20 patio fills hers every week.
We have to get a second one, because.
No, that's too small.
But it was free for us to get a second one.
well, wouldn't be free for a business.
No, I understand.
But they charge businesses a lot more than they charge houses.
I'm thinking of a compost pile.
I would think it has to be a dumpster size.
Can we ask our new tenants to just bring theirs, get a couple free ones and bring ours around to their curb?
At their house.
Because the cities are saying we cannot put green waste in the trash anymore.
Yes. Well, actually, it's the state that says that.
Well, the
No,
mandate.
I'm not sure,
It's a state mandate, but it comes through the city.
Yeah, I'm not sure who I think it's the trash company who is supposed to enforce it.
Yeah, and they just want more money.
What would a compost pile next to the shed look like?
A big pile?
We could burn it.
No, can't do
Like
that.
red
Can't do that here.
No, can't burn anything. That or get garbage disposal. Put everything that's green down at garbage disposal.
We got a little mulcher that we bought for the house.
Yeah.
A wood chipper,
Mm-hmm.
some kind
It is.
of grinder.
Yeah.
Well, we're basically already paying, if Marv turns it in a couple times a year, we're already paying it. And they do
Well, actually.
way more than we're paying them.
Actually, is there you said, you have a small wood chipper or mulcher, would that be enough for here?
No, I
Something
don't
like
think so,
that?
because some of the branches, it'll only do 1-inch branches.
Hmm.
Why don't we get a one machine,
Or-
get a big one?
Or actually, yeah,
Yeah,
That's doable.
except they won't pick it up if it's not theirs.
let's
the good ones
let's just
right here.
get, well, other than the grass, the branches, I'll pay for that. Because we only trim the trees, once a year, once every 2 years. And when I haul it off, I have a load, which normally would be 3 loads per cabin.
I know how you pack loads.
So it's not full till it's full.
I was waiting for a call when you took a load from my house.
Yeah.
Oh, the freeway's closed due to load. So I would say table that for now, and I think we can manage.
Well, we need to make a motion on the budget, so, I would say that with the inclusion of the, donations back to the Synod and the district, especially after we discussed, with the district, that we move to approve the proposed budget for 2026, tabling the garbage issue until later. We'll run it as is now and make an adjustment, especially if we could get the proposal for the new tenant. That will offset some of the costs potentially.
Art made, Kathy seconded.
Okay.
All in favor?
Been moved and seconded, so all
flowers with artificial flowers, I need somebody to, somebody to buy a nice set of artificial flowers to put in place before we cancel the flower.
I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Where do you get your flowers?
Hmm?
Where do you get your flowers?
I don't,
Yeah.
I don't have any flowers.
Can we, Kathy and I do that, because we'll have Deborah just put it together. She can go to Michael's
Oh, okay.
and have Deborah, because she's a florist,
Well,
Yeah.
but let me pay for it though.
this is what costs.
Okay.
So you guys are gonna do it, not Linda?
Correct, unless there's.
Let's say, let's at least let Suzanne's run through the end of the year.
Well, I'm saying let Suzanne's run it at least until we get the artificial
Right.
flowers and get, basically congregational approval of what's been purchased.
Well, it's easy enough to slap a plastic poinsettia up there through advent.
Make sure you let me
Yeah.
pay for it.
There, so.
Okay.
Maybe Suzanne's will, lower their price.
Oh,
They're only $25.
Yeah.
They've been that for 20-some years.
Yeah, they're already real low for us.
You're
And
driving twice as far.
now, the challenge will be, and I don't anybody take this as a personal thing, but sometimes when we sign up for flowers, they're not paid for. And the church has been paying for those.
So that's a.
So if you want special flowers, you can still go to Suzanne's and order flowers and have them put on the altar. We'll just move the artificial aside. But for the church budget, we will no longer pay for it. I mean, so special occasions, you can still bring flowers in, but that'll be on you. We won't have the sign up. We'll have a arrangement or two that we can alternate.
Yeah.
And over time, maybe we'll get a couple for different holiday seasons.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
you bet.
Red
Four
Christmas.
seasons.
You probably should have been doing this for a long time.
Well, but Suzanne's kept the price the same. You can't go anywhere and get a bouquet for $25,
Wow.
you know? And I hate to do it because they've been so good to us, but
We will still do poinsettias and
Yes.
Easter lilies
Yes.
from the congregation. I will still coordinate that.
yeah, because
For
that's,
people to buy poinsettia, to
yeah.
buy a poinsettia and take it
Special.
home.
But those are special,
That's self-funded.
that's outside, yeah, and self-funded, so. But thank you for reminding me. So, what's next? We did the
New business B,
new business B.
Housing allowance.
Okay, the council recommendation, Leanne, the council recommendation on that?
Well, 100% of the allocation of the salary.
motion that we go with the council recommendation for the 2026 housing allowance for the pastor at 100%.
Second?
Okay, been moved and seconded that we go with housing allowance with council recommendation. All in favor? Opposed? Okay. Which brings us to communications.
I actually have one item in the mail today. There is a plea from a congregation in Detroit, Michigan for contributions to their ministry. This is a LCMS congregation, and I will put the information on the table if anyone is interested in making a personal contribution. Obviously, as a congregation, we're not in a position to do that.
Yeah.
Where are they from, Jeffrey?
Detroit,
Detroit, Michigan.
I'll have to see where it is.
Yeah, where in Detroit? Yeah.
Excuse me. All right.
How can you
Yeah,
hear
Evergreen
communications?
Road, Southfield, in the heart of Detroit.
Any other communications?
I have none.
Okay, that brings us to the report of the pastor.
All right, I will try and make this quick. We should have a handout. We have met with virtually, there's a couple families, households we have not met with yet. Again, just a reminder, this is not pleasant conversation for any of us. January of '24, our Sunday average attendance was 26. It is now currently slightly less than 18, and that is fudging it up. Jeffrey already mentioned about the banking. In November of '24, our average, we were $30,000 in the bank, plus the $23,000 in LCEF. I just looked, right now, our bank balance is $10,041.89.
Down from what was it?
30,000.
Wow.
So we're down 20,000 in a
And
year.
that's with rents being paid through October.
Yeah, we don't have November's rent, which is
Because they pay weekly, so.
is $4,214 and $4,214. So you add that in, we're still down about 15,000 in a year. The attendance has dropped 30. That's a 30% decline in attendance. And so this has been on my reports for a while. As the world looks across the Montclair horizon, how will Trinity Lutheran Church be seen? Will it be seen? And a year ago, well, at the beginning of this year, I put out 4 proposals. We do nothing and we close. We might survive through summer, but at the rate of decline of attendance and finances, we will be dipping into that 23,000 in LCEF sometime in early next year.
Yeah, that will be delayed if the extra tenant income
Yeah, I think,
comes to pass.
I think that will help. So, things have changed a lot in the last year. One proposal, I'm not going to spend much time on it, was we had conversations with Emmanuel Chino. And evidently, before we came, Janet and I, there was conversations and there was no headway made in partnering, merging, whatever you want to call it. There was some conversations with Pastor Patrick there. He loves the idea of ARC, but when he went to his congregation, they said, no, we don't want you to build ARC here. Huh? They poo-pooed it.
Or they like the idea of us coming over
Well,
and facilitating art, but not building a
Yeah.
building, the dormitories, the kitchen, the
but art-
meeting rooms.
ARC needs
No new
facilities to operate under its vision. And some things have happened over there that have put them in virtually the same boat we are in. They might make it a year. But we thought ARC would be a lifeline. And one of the ideas was to sell this, merge with them, build ARC there, and both of us grow and do something. Well, that's not going to happen. So, all I want today is to listen and pray and maybe give us a consensus vote. There are still a lot of details to work out, but God has been opening and closing doors like crazy. So the best plan that we, Janet and I, we as ARC board, Art and Terry, and many of my mentors and wise people that I talk to, still firmly believe ARC is a vision, a tool that is supposed to happen on this campus, and it is not at the cost of Trinity. We still believe it is a tool that will help Trinity survive. Okay? Keep that in mind. We believe ARC for Life will grow God's kingdom and Trinity for Life. It was suggested to me that we, and I don't have all the details, and it's going to take a lot of work. This is not going to be easy. But we would restructure Trinity, reconstitute Trinity as a skeleton crew, for lack of a better word. Right now, we have 9 still meet state and district requirements for Trinity to be a church. So we streamlined it, okay? The other thing we would do, in that, then I would still be able to maintain word and sacrament ministry for the remnant. I'm lovingly calling you guys my remnant. That is not negative, it's not derogatory, but there's only a few of us left. So you're my remnant. And I want to do everything possible to minister to that group until Jesus calls you all home. And I'm hoping that's a while. So we would maintain the basic word and sacrament ministry that we are doing now. It might look a little different. I'm not going to say it won't. I noted on here maybe a new time and a modified space. Let's not get caught up on that because I don't know what that might do. But remember, I can't do anything without your approval. These are thoughts, these are ideas that I believe God has put on my heart, our hearts as ministry leaders here and partners of art. So in that also, alongside that, I want to establish, maybe you've heard me say, church has to look different going forward. Now, what's that look like? I think it looks like a gathering like Jesus did with his disciples, sharing a meal. We gather together, we share a meal, we slide into some study time of the Word, and then we conclude with some worship, videos, music, whatever that might be. That is not going to replace what we're doing like we did this morning. It is something new. Last Sunday we had several people from the recovery area. We're finding that is a big mission field for us as church. You'd be more than welcome to participate in that, or you can just keep doing the Sunday morning church that you're doing. But Janet and I feel, Art and Terry and many other people feel, that tapping into that sober living homes, the clients where Janet works, and the demographic is where we need to be reaching out. When we tried to revitalize years ago, we looked at doing unchurched or de-churched people.
That's what this demographic is.
And most of them are de-churched people. So we're still looking at doing that. And I know all of you are talking to family and friends, inviting them. But look where we're at. That's not happening. The traditional way is not happening. So we maintain, it's maybe slightly modified what we're doing, so I can still minister to you guys. We bring on something new so that we can reach out to other people in the recovery area. And by reorganizing Trinity, we can keep doing business as Trinity Lutheran Church, a congregation of the Missouri Synod. We still have access to LCEF. We still have access to mission grants through the district.
And guidance by
and guidance. But in our, I don't know how to say this right. We want to raise up ARC in a sense as the new ministry presence. Not to take over Trinity, but people aren't coming to Trinity. So I think if we, and I think people will come to Trinity through ARC. If we have a new ministry format, people want traditional, they'll still come. So I still believe highly that it will be a channel to bring people in.
Is it a transportation problem with the RP, or the?
Some, like, Mark relies on his bike.
Yeah.
He was but still, days like today,
Yeah.
you know, but he made it. The ones that want to will make it, but I think that can be an important piece, but I don't want to get caught in the weeds. So, with all that being said, my proposal, and we're not voting on it today, I just want you to think about this. For the January voters meeting, we are redoing, because we already redid it once, the business plan for ARC. We are talking to LCEF. We are talking with construction people. We've got a lot of things in place. So for the January voters meeting, we want to bring a complete package. I want to bring in a meal, and we want to have time to sit down and go through this. This is what this will cost, this is who's going to pay it, this is where the money's going to come from. And honestly, when all's said and done, I believe it's all going to work out. But it might not. But by January, we'll know that. And say, oh.
Can I just throw it out there that ARC, as a ministry, cannot get a mortgage to build because we are not the owners of, ARC is not the owner of this property. It's a ministry of Trinity Lutheran Church Montclair. So a mortgage would have to be under Trinity Lutheran Church Montclair with the understanding that ARC can cover all those costs.
So that's the business plan. So my proposal is that we reconstitute Trinity so that we can stay a viable congregation. Because Trinity, one of the proposals was to deed the property from Trinity to ARC. Well, then we lose the tax exempt status. But I still believe that Trinity can grow again, but it's going to need help from ARC. There might be other ways, but for right now, what we have, the tools we have, is ARC. So, what I propose is that Trinity take out a loan, a mortgage, to build ARC for Life through LCEF, which preliminarily they have said they will do that for us. But as Janet pointed out, LCEF can't loan to ARC.
Well, nobody can loan to ARC because ARC doesn't own any property.
Right, that's what I just said. So, but ARC is an approved ministry organization of Trinity.
Well, and acknowledged through the district as well.
And acknowledge the district. So, if our business plan can show to you guys that ARC, with the rental income from the 3 churches and the retreat center, can pay the mortgage and the utilities and the insurance and the maintenance.
Basically take over
ARC would
everything.
take
on
over
campus.
the administration and management of the property. Trinity would operate on offerings, but they wouldn't pay rent, but it's their property. That wouldn't change.
And you would still be paying your pastor.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So,
because there is some money to be made in credos.
Exactly.
And these different.
our
and they
old,
have like 3-day things, but 55 stairs to climb in some
Exactly.
of the facilities.
our old business plan showed an income of $120,000. But that was from 6, 7 years ago. At $3,000 a retreat. Now we're talking $3,500 or more. And which is still cheaper for all these communities. So with the 72,000 rental income plus 100,000 more for the community retreat center, we feel we can show you that it would do. So, worst case, if we close Trinity and sell the property and give the money to ministries or
We go
whatever.
down fighting.
We could maybe make summer next year. But if we do this, and it doesn't work, we're not in any different boat than we were. The only difference would be LCF would take the property and use it for other ministries. So it's not gonna be a waste. The property, if we close, if we didn't do anything, we close, or if we did this and it fails, we're not in any different position than we are now. I can't tell you how much I believe in this. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. And I have dozens of people that are backing me. And this isn't just about me. This is about the kingdom of God.
Art, as a board member, do you have anything to add?
We're pretty much darned if we do, darned if we don't. It's better to take a shot than nothing at all, because in the end, we're only gonna make it to summer at best, looking at the finances of the way they're going and our decline. I think that this is the best opportunity of potential growth that we could possibly throw out. It's a gamble.
It is.
It's a gamble.
And I ask
But-
Art because he has the unique opportunity of sitting on both sides of the table.
And
He's on the church board and he's the church council and he's also on the art board.
And please hear me.
My emphasis is, even though I am part of ARC, I want to see Trinity continue. I want Trinity to survive.
That's the goal.
And
Many of us are wearing two hats, and believe me, we're not trying to take over.
no,
We're trying to propose ideas that will, because if Trinity closes, ARC's not going to survive.
Trinity.
We have, and Trinity is part of, ARC is part of Trinity. And I think they are parallel ministries. And we can raise up, I still think we can raise Trinity back up. But it's going to have to take a little bit of a sidestep for a little bit next to ARC.
With God, all things are possible.
Exactly. So we're not,
There are.
do you understand generally what we're trying to do? And this isn't a binding vote at all, but with what you know now, would you at least consider hearing the rest of the information when we can get it together for January? God closed the door on the one manufactured housing guy that helped Bunny. He and I have been working together for years. Well, he is so busy doing Palisades properties, he won't even return my phone call. I finally talked to him. He said, "I'm sorry, I'm so busy." Friday, my friend Rob, he preached here once. He goes, "Oh, I got another manufactured home guy. He wants to do stuff. He's a Christian in recovery." God's been closing doors and opening new ones. So, I think right now, let's,
A couple of additional things that could or could definitely cause delays would be the city approval process and possible construction delays, such as the problem you had with your guy who got too busy.
well, this guy does more commercial than residential. And that was another problem I had with the other manufactured guy. They had to present it as a home, and then we convert it.
As HUD housing.
This guy doesn't have to do that. So I don't have all the details, but we will by January's voters meeting. And then I can show you, and there are going to be other things that I haven't thought of, we haven't thought of. And by all means, call us on it. But I believe this is the best option we have to get Trinity past the 70-year mark and have a chance to grow again. But also establish a new ministry establish a worship format, and, like Melanie, she came partly because she loved us, and then she fell in love with all you guys, but it wasn't her thing. Our style of worship wasn't her thing. I think there's a lot of people that it can be for, but I think we need to get them here through ARC. So, I think you got the general idea, and I saw some heads nodding, at least, a consensus of let's move forward. And again, by January, we'll have most of the Ts dotted and the Is crossed. I mean, no, the other way.
Do you need to call for a consensus
I just-
to get it on record?
No, I don't think everybody's nodding their head going, okay, let's.
Because there's not gonna be a disapproval of moving forward with the information.
Right, you guys have already given us
You really
approval
can't get a whole picture till you get all the financials.
in previous
Yeah.
meetings to do this, but now we've had meetings with most of the homes, we've had doors open and closed, God introduced me to Patrick 4 years ago, and he fell in love with ARC, and so when things started getting tight, I went, hey, maybe this is the time. So we had started conversations over there. Well, God closed that door, which tells me and us that he wants it here.
More to gain, less to lose.
And so without selling the property, though, we have no capital, so we have to borrow the capital. But
Unless
again,
you know somebody who's got 2.8 million in their back pocket.
well, if we reorganize what we're doing, I think we can pare that back. So, all right.
Well, that's the first and foremost thing, is we have to reconstitute Trinity into, as you said, lack for a better word, the skeleton group. We have to, because we don't have enough people to actually get the job done that this is gonna require, so we have to make it a little tighter group so that we can get the job done. Otherwise, we're gonna have, we end up short one person, we can't meet.
And we're gonna have to spell out what ARC will be responsible for as far as the management and overseeing administration, and what Trinity
An action.
will do.
Can we wrap this up in 100 words or less?
So,
I also think we need to review what our actual assets are.
oh, yeah. I said that earlier.
Yeah, I think that also needs to be focused on.
I've already done little diagrams with circles and arrows on the back of each
Of
one
course
of
you
them.
have.
That
Okay.
says CDC here, and here at this time, and then the new garden temple group here, and here at this time,
And that will all be included in the business plan.
and that will all be included. I'm gonna put it in their leases and updates to their leases, and,
Locks on the doors.
yeah.
Okay.
And so, thank you, though, that,
And we do have a boilerplate for a constitution such as Pastor is recommending. The church we came from, Christ Lutheran in Costa Mesa, reconstituted just before we got there. And they were much larger, but they did it for many of the same reasons.
there's the typical constitution, we can revise it and pare out and merge some of the duties so that we have the bare minimal officers and stuff. Or there's another one called policy governance, which I have to look into, and that's what Janet's referring to. So we will bring all of that in January. We'll be asking people to sit on a constitution committee. We'll be asking people to sit on and updating the ARC negotiating committee. And all of that will take place. But again, nothing can happen without Trinity. And if Trinity closes, then ARC's done too, virtually. And I don't mean this in a negative way, because I love being your pastor, but there are lots of churches that will, so I'm not, yes, I want my job, but I want my job here. I love being a pastor.
But we know that a possible outcome is Pastor and I picking up stakes and moving to another location if God calls us,
So
if
that-
this doesn't
I
work.
don't want to do that, but that is the least of my concerns. And how do we get this to happen? You know, so, all right, that's enough for me.
Item 10, announcements, December schedule.
I don't have any announcements. The December schedule is we're going to decorate next
On the 30th.
Sunday after church.
Oh, that's-
Then the first 3 Thursdays in,
December.
Sunday the 30th,
Yep, hey, Brian now.
Deacon
It's gonna be decorated.
Bob is going to come
It'll be the 23rd.
The last
to
Sunday?
decorate. He's the 23rd.
Yeah, then the
The
30th.
30th, Deacon Bob is going to come and preach and help Gene, and they'll do liturgy. And then the first 3 Thursdays, I think it's 4, 11, 18 of December, are Advent services. And I want to, the first one for sure, I want to do this new format of dinner, study, worship.
And
if
invite
you-
the other congregation.
And if you hate it, then the other 2 Advent services will be,
Tradition.
we'll go back to tradition.
I think the first one would be great.
But if you like it, then we'll do the same thing.
Well, and that one, and will that be a potluck?
Yes, there will be a potluck.
Signed potluck.
Yes, we'll sign up, so. And then Christmas Eve is the 24th, I believe that's a Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
If your dates are right, it is.
So that's the schedule.
What about nothing on Christmas Day?
No.
Well,
Motion to adjourn?
wait, not yet. Jeffrey, one thing we forgot last year on the December schedule, I remembered a week later, we didn't put a date for installation of officers in there.
It's in January.
It is?
Usually
I thought we had.
No, installation of officers
We squeezed it in.
needs to be before January.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had to squeeze it in last year, it wasn't on the.
It'll be the last, probably the last Sunday.
That we don't have to decide at this meeting, but you, Leanne, you do need to hold pastor's feet to the fire on this one and make him schedule it.
Yeah, I assumed December schedule, but I guess so. I have a.
I will look at that and we will fit it in, probably, I hadn't looked at that yet,
All right, I just thought I'd better mention.
so.
Yeah,
all right.
yes,
That'd be
the
installment.
the Constitution says, between the election and the first of the year, you need to have the installation one of those Sundays.
Okay.
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 Sunday after Christmas, yeah.
Okay, Art, your motion's in order.